Happy Friday, Facebook world. Hope you've all had a great week. I wanted to share a little story. I read this book to Chloe the other day. I don't know if anybody out there has ever read The Giving Tree. It's a great book by Shel Silverstein. My kids grew up on Shel Silverstein. I love him as an author, love his poems. They're hysterical and funny. But this book happens to be a children's book that's really just a life book. It talks about giving. And I had a memory come up on my Facebook feed 2 days ago about, and I'm sure you've all seen it, about the Dead Sea and the Sea of Galilee. Okay, and how the Sea of Galilee is just vibrant and full of life and teeming with many, many different species of fish, some of which are only exist in that place and nowhere else in the world. And it's got so much vegetation around its borders that it attracts all different kinds of species of birds, and it's just teeming with life. And then you have the Dead Sea, which is so toxic and there's so much saline, hi Maribel, that nothing can live there, nothing can exist there. And the interesting thing is that they are both fed by the Jordan River. And what I thought was very interesting is that how can something that has the same source feeding it have two very different ways of existing? And what it says in this video that's going around is that the Sea of Galilee has an outlet. It has an inlet of the water that's coming in, but it also has an outlet. So it is receiving and it is giving. And it's a beautiful cycle, and it keeps everything alive and beautiful. Whereas the Dead Sea has an inlet, but nothing comes out. So it's receiving, but it's not giving anything, is the way that I look at it, and the point that they're trying to make. And I happen to be a big believer in the power of giving. I have for years researched what it does to us as people. I have volunteered thousands of hours and always encourage people to do that. I have researched and found studies that they've done linking giving to improved health and happiness and even longevity. And it's sad because the last week or so, or the last, I don't even know how many years, I don't watch the news. People who know me know that I do not watch any news. I figure something's going to happen, I'll find out about it eventually. And there's so much going on now, and people are sort of consumed in this hatred mode right now because of everything that's been going on. But I guarantee you that there is a lot more good going on in the world than there is bad. Unfortunately, the good doesn't sell the ratings that the bad does. So the news is constantly bombarding us with images and hatred, and it's the same story, but they tell it in 100 different ways so that they can keep their 24 hours covered. And you know what? It's not real, people. Don't buy into it. They're trying to make us believe that people suck. They're trying to make us believe that the world is not a good place. And I promise you that the world is full of good. The world is full of givers. And if you don't believe me, just one little piece of advice that I can give you: go out and volunteer somewhere. Find a place where you can volunteer, and you're going to be surrounded with people who, for no other reason than giving back or serving others, are out there taking their time and their resources and just being there for someone else who's in need. And that's just one of the ways that I can tell you to really go out and experience what's really going on in this world. And I guarantee you, if I always wish that if the news had 30 minutes of bad, it should be balanced out with a 30 minutes of good, because I promise you that there's a lot of great things going on out there in the world. And hi, Victor. I just encourage you to go out there, volunteer. If you don't know where to volunteer, you can Google hands-on. Every community or every municipality, for the most part, has a hands-on network that you can jump on there and find different volunteer opportunities of things that mean something to you. Hi, Esther. We used to do it, and the kids, as soon as they turned 8 years old, which is the youngest they could be, we volunteered from homeless shelters to children's homes to old folks' homes to botanical gardens and beach cleanups. And it's just a feel good, because the people that are there don't have to be there. They're there because they want to be there. And that is really what is going on in the world out there. Like I said, it just doesn't sell, so they don't tell us about it, and they're lying to us and trying to make us believe that the world is not a good place. So I encourage you, if you can, to go out, volunteer, surround yourself with people. Stop watching the news 24 hours a day, people. I mean, if you want to be happy, the easiest way to do that is to stop eating into the lie. And Winston Churchill said, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. So I encourage you to go out there. I know people on my feed, I'm preaching to the choir. I know you're all givers, and my tribe has morphed into this embodiment of people that are givers. But I encourage you to go out there and just surround yourself with people that are doing good, and know that the world is a good place. And if you haven't, please, super good, read it to your little ones. If you're 9 or 109 or 9 months old, it's going to work. It's a great little book about the power of giving and selflessness. So enjoy the weekend, guys. All you kiddos, Dayton Broward, who start school next week, enjoy, have fun. Make sure you buy whatever you want for lunch. This is your weekend to do it, and enjoy. Have a great weekend, everyone.